Welcome, my friend. Today's video is not just about a business. It's about pain. It's about rejection. It's about trying again and again when the whole world says no. And it's about you. Yes, you. This story is your story too. You try every day but still feel lost. You wake up and ask, why is nothing changing? You feel like you're moving in slow motion while the world runs fast. Everyone seems ahead. Everyone seems happy. But you're tired. You're confused. And deep down, you wonder, is something wrong with me? You feel tired. You feel slow. You feel stuck. You do your best, but it never feels like enough. You plan, you dream, you try. But every door seems closed. You send out your ideas, your work, your heart. But no one says yes. Rejection hurts. Silence hurts even more. Sometimes you look at others and wonder, why them? Why not me? It feels like you're invisible. Like no one sees how hard you're trying. Maybe you feel small. Maybe you feel like giving up. Maybe you've already said to yourself, this will never work. I want you to pause for a moment. I want you to just breathe. Because I see you. I see your heart. I see your fight. This story today, it's for the dreamers. The tired ones, the ones who feel left out, the ones who are doing everything they can but still waiting for a single yes. This story is not about success. It's about what happens before success. It's about the pain, the waiting, the fear, and the decision to try one more time. The story of Airbnb is not just about travel. It's not about renting homes. It's not about money. It's about three people who had an idea. A small, strange idea. An idea so different, so risky, so impossible, that no one wanted it. And yet, they didn't stop, even after being rejected 100 times. But before we go there, let's stay here. For just a little longer, let's stay in this feeling. Because maybe right now, your heart is tired. Maybe your dream is shaking. Maybe you're holding it with both hands, but it's slipping away. You are not alone. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You are not a failure. You are someone who keeps showing up. And that is powerful. Let this be a safe place, a soft place, a place where you can feel all the things you hide, the fear, the frustration, the loneliness. Let it out. You don't have to pretend here, not with me, not today. Because the truth is, before every great story, there is a storm of doubt, a storm of no's, a storm that makes you want to walk away. But if you listen closely, even in the storm, there is a whisper. That whisper says, try again. The world may say no. But that whisper, that's your soul. That's your heart. That's your fight. And it's still alive. You are not stuck. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are just in the middle of your story. And today, we will walk through a story that will remind you of your own strength. You will see what happens when people say no. And you keep going anyway. So let's begin this journey together. Not with pressure. Not with big promises, but with open hearts. You are not alone. I understand. I truly do. When you try again and again and nothing seems to work, it hurts. You begin to question yourself. You ask, am I not good enough? You look in the mirror and sometimes feel disappointed. But let me tell you something. From my heart to yours, you are not broken. You are not weak. You are not lost beyond repair. You are simply tired. You have been fighting alone for too long, and that is not your fault. You are not lazy. Please hear me when I say that. You are not lazy. You are carrying a lot, maybe too much. Dreams, fears, expectations, pain, all inside one heart. That's a heavy load. Anyone would feel tired. Anyone would want to give up. But you're still here. You're still trying. And that says something very important. You are strong, even if you don't feel it. You are not stupid. You are not slow. Maybe you are scared. Maybe you've been rejected too many times, and now you hesitate before every step. That's okay. Fear does not mean you're weak. Fear means you care. It means your dream matters to you, and that is beautiful. The truth is, many people feel like you. They smile on the outside, but inside they are wondering if they matter. They are afraid of trying one more time, afraid of failing again. You are not the only one. You are not alone in this feeling. I promise you that. The three young men who started Airbnb felt exactly the same. Their names were Brian, Joe, and Nathan. They were not rich. They were not special. They were just like you, people with a dream that seemed impossible. They wanted to create something different, something strange, a website where strangers could rent out a bed or a couch, or even just some floor space to other strangers. Sounds weird, right? And that's exactly what people said to them. Investors laughed at them. People said, "No one will ever do this. It's dangerous. It's stupid." And every time they heard a no, it hurt. But they kept going. Can you imagine how that must have felt? To hear no, not once, not twice, but again, and again, and again. They were rejected by investors over 100 times. 100 rejections. That's more than most people could take. But they didn't quit. Why? Because deep down, they believed. They believed in their idea. More than that, they believed in themselves, even when no one else did. And I want you to believe too. Not just in your dream, but in you, in your voice, in your effort, in your growth. Because no rejection can truly stop a person who refuses to stop trying. You may feel like giving up, but I want to tell you, not yet, not today. You have something inside you that is stronger than rejection, stronger than failure, stronger than fear. It's your heart, and hearts like yours don't quit forever. They just need a little hope, a little reminder, a little voice that says, you are not alone, and you still have time. So let this story remind you that being rejected doesn't mean your idea is bad. It doesn't mean you are not enough. It just means the world isn't ready yet. But that doesn't mean you stop. You keep building, keep learning, keep trusting. Even if no one believes in you right now, I do. I believe in people who try. I believe in the quiet fighters, the slow builders, the dreamers who are still holding on. Because one day the world will look back and say, how did they do it? But you will know. You will know the pain, the patience, the push to keep moving. So take a breath. Wipe your eyes. Lift your head. You are not alone in this fight. I'm with you. And so are thousands of others who are listening to this right now. People just like you, walking the same hard road. This journey is hard, but you are not weak. You are strong, and you are not done yet. You have something inside you, something powerful, something beautiful. It's not loud, it doesn't shout, but it's there, waiting, breathing, holding on. Even when the world turns away, even when the doors stay shut, it stays. That something is your heart, your courage, your fire, and it has not left you, not even once. You have power inside you, real power, not the kind people put on TV, not the kind that needs attention or praise. Number. I'm talking about the quiet power, the kind that keeps going after the 10th rejection, the kind that gets up after failing again, the kind that whispers, try one more time, even when your hands are shaking. That power is yours. It lives in you. Maybe no one has told you that before. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to see your light. So let me say it now. I see it. I see your light. I see your fight. I see how hard you try, even when no one claps for you, even when no one helps, even when no one believes. That is not weakness. That is strength, deep, beautiful strength. You are more than you think. You are more than your job, more than your failures, more than the things you haven't done yet. You are more than what they said about you. You are not small. You are not late. You are growing. You are rising. You are learning. And that matters. I know the world can be cruel. I know the voices in your head can be louder than your hope. But even if those voices say you're not smart enough, strong enough, or lucky enough, I want you to listen to one thing. Discipline is stronger than talent. It really is. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. That's what changes everything. The men behind Airbnb, they weren't experts. They weren't born geniuses. They didn't have rich families or big investors behind them. What they had was discipline. They kept trying. They kept asking. They kept knocking on doors that never opened. 100 rejections, but they still showed up. That's what made the difference. And you? You have that too. You have that fire, that discipline, that strength. It may be small now. It may feel tired, but it's still burning. One more try. That's all it takes. One more brave step forward. That's how the story starts to change. You don't need to fix everything today. You don't need to know the whole path. Just take the next step. Just give it one more try. That is your superpower. Not giving up. Not quitting. Not letting rejection define you. You are not here by accident. You are not listening to this by mistake. Maybe your soul brought you here. Maybe you needed this reminder, to hear these words, to feel this hope again. You are not broken. You are brave. You are not finished. You are still becoming. You are not lost. You are finding your way, step by step, breath by breath, try by try. You are allowed to fall, but you are also allowed to rise. You are allowed to cry, but you are also allowed to believe. And even when you feel like you have nothing left, even when your tank is empty, even when your heart is heavy, you still have one thing, one more try. That one more try that can change everything. Let me take you to a small apartment in San Francisco. The year is 2007. Three young men are sitting on the floor. Their names are Brian, Joe, and Nathan. Their rent is due, but they don't have the money. Their fridge is almost empty. Their savings are running out. And their idea? Most people don't even understand it. People call it crazy. They call it risky. But to these three men, it feels like the only thing they have left. They sit in that tiny room, looking around, thinking, how can we make this work? They don't have investors. They don't have big offices or rich friends. All they have is each other. And a strange idea. What if people could stay in someone's home instead of a hotel? What if travelers could sleep on an air mattress and share breakfast with their host? It sounds strange, even silly, but that's all they've got. So they blow up a few air mattresses. They open their living room, and they call it airbed and breakfast. That's how it starts, not with success, not with money, but with air mattresses and hope. For months, they try to get people to use their website. But no one comes. People laugh at the idea. Some call it dangerous. Some call it disgusting. Most don't even reply. So they try something new. They make cereal boxes. Yes, cereal. They create fun, limited edition cereal and sell it just to survive. They name the boxes Obama O's and Captain McCain's during the election season. And you know what? That silly cereal idea helps them raise a little money. Just enough to keep going a bit longer. But the rejections don't stop. Investor after investor says no. This will never work, they're told. No one wants to sleep in a stranger's house. This is a terrible idea. They hear it 10 times, then 20, then 50, then 80, and still they keep going. They don't stop, because deep in their hearts they believe, even when the world does not. Can you imagine that? Can you feel it? That kind of pain? That kind of loneliness? You pour everything into a dream, and still, every door is closed. You sit in silence, wondering if you're wasting your life. But then, you look at your friends. You look at your idea. You remember why you started, and you say to yourself, let's try again. That's the story of Airbnb. Not a story of instant success, but a story of people who refused to quit. People who faced rejection after rejection, but chose one more try. People who slept on floors, worked nights, and kept showing up. And one day, finally, someone said yes. One small investor believed. That little yes gave them a chance. And slowly, their dream began to grow. Now Airbnb is known around the world, but don't let the success fool you. Behind the brand, behind the billions, behind the global reach, there are three young men who once cried in silence, who once felt forgotten, who once sat in a small apartment and said, "We're not giving up." Their pain is not so different from yours. Their doubts were like yours. Their story could be your story. Because every great dream begins in the dark. Every strong heart is born through fire. So picture yourself there, on the floor of your own dream. The world says no, your money is low, your hope is thin, but you still have breath. You still have fire. You still have one more try. That's all it takes. So now, my friend, I ask you to pause. I want you to sit with this story in your heart. Not just the parts about success, but the long nights before it. The empty fridge, the silent rejections, the pain of being told no again and again. Because that is where the real power lives, not in the victory, but in the moments they could have quit and didn't. That is the power you also carry. Maybe you've been waiting for a big sign. Maybe you've been hoping for someone to tell you it's still possible. Maybe you just needed to hear that you are not a failure because you haven't made it yet. So let me say it clearly and gently. Your time is not over. Your story is not done. You are not late. You are not too old. You are not too broken. You are exactly where you need to be to take the next small step. One more try. That's how the story changes. Not 10, not 100, just one. One more brave attempt. One more deep breath. One more time showing up when it would be easier to walk away. You don't need all the answers. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't even need the full plan. You just need to keep going. Because the truth is, success is often just one more try after you almost gave up. This isn't about being like Brian or Joe or Nathan. It's not about being like anyone. It's about being you, the real you, the one who gets back up, the one who wants to give up but doesn't, the one who knows that even if the world says no 100 times, all it takes is one yes. So if you're tired, I understand. If you feel lost, I understand. But don't stop here. Don't make this the end of your story. You still have strength. You still have light. You still have that one more try left inside you. Let the story of Airbnb live in you. Let it remind you that rejection is not the end. Let it remind you that small ideas can become something the whole world knows. Let it remind you that you are not the only one who feels stuck. But more than anything, let it remind you that you're not done. You're just beginning. You've come so far. You've grown so much. You faced things that would break many people. And still, you're here. That is not weakness. That is proof of your fire. So wherever you are right now, at your desk, on your bed, walking alone, just take a moment. Close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. And whisper this to yourself. One more try. That's how my story will change. Because it will, and because I believe in you. Something happens when you refuse to give up. The world doesn't change in one day, but something inside you starts to shift. You begin to walk differently. You begin to think differently. You stop chasing approval. You stop begging people to believe. Instead, you begin to believe in yourself. And that is when everything starts to change. Not all at once, but piece by piece. That's what happened to the Airbnb founders. After all the rejection, after all the nights of doubt and stress and silence, they reached one tiny turning point. Just one investor finally said yes. One person finally saw what they saw. And that one small yes opened the door to many more. That's how change begins. Not with applause, not with a big miracle, but with one small shift. One tiny moment of hope that leads to the next. When Brian and Joe and Nathan got that first yes, they didn't become successful overnight. But that one decision gave them time. It gave them strength. It gave them the proof they needed to keep going. They still had to work. They still had to build. They still faced fear. But now, they had something they didn't have before. A real chance. You will have that moment too. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But it's coming. If you keep showing up, it's coming. That one message, that one opportunity, that one connection. And when it comes, it will feel small at first. Almost too small to believe in. But don't ignore it. Don't walk past it. That could be your turning point. That could be the moment your entire life starts to move. You might look back one day and realize your biggest win started on your hardest day. Maybe the day you wanted to quit was the day right before your yes. That's why you keep going. That's why you don't stop. Because even if no one sees it, something is growing inside you. Every time you try again, your heart grows stronger. Every time you face rejection and still move forward, your dream becomes more real. And sometimes, the world will only believe after you refuse to give up. That's what happened with Airbnb. At first, people laughed. Then they ignored it. Then suddenly, they couldn't ignore it anymore. It grew quietly, slowly. Then it became a giant. But only because the people behind it never let rejection be the final word. So I ask you now, what if your story is the same? What if your dream is waiting just one step beyond your fear? What if your yes is closer than you think? What if your success is not in some perfect plan, but in your persistence? What if you stopped asking, "What if I fail?" and started asking, "What if I fly?" This world needs people like you. Dreamers who keep going. Builders who don't give up. Fighters who still believe. That's how real things are made, not by the fastest, not by the luckiest, but by the ones who stay in the game, even when it hurts, even when it's lonely, even when they are told no 100 times. You are not too far. You are not too late. Your turning point is coming. But first, you must keep walking. You must keep trying. Because that one more try you give today, it may be the one that opens every door. Let's slow down for a moment. Let's take a breath and look back. Not just at the story of Airbnb, but at your own story too. Look at how far you've come. Look at everything you've walked through. You've had pain. You've had moments when everything felt heavy. You've cried in silence. You've doubted yourself. You've felt alone, and still you're here. That means something. That means more than you know. Because most people give up. Most people stop at the first no. But you didn't. Maybe you paused. Maybe you broke down for a while. Maybe you even lost your way. But somehow, some way, you kept going. And that is something to be proud of. If you ever feel like you're behind, just remember, your journey is not meant to look like anyone else's. Your story is your own, unique, sacred, beautiful. And the truth is, every step you've taken, even the ones that felt wrong, have brought you here, to this moment, to this breath, to this chance to try again. Sometimes we don't realize how strong we are because we're too close to our own struggle. We don't see the strength it takes to keep showing up every day, to keep dreaming when nothing is working. But that's real power, quiet, steady, true. And maybe this story of Airbnb, this story of rejection and belief, is not so different from yours. Maybe you've been rejected too, not just by jobs or investors or people, but by life itself. Maybe doors have been closing in your face for years. Maybe you've heard too many no's. And maybe, like those 3 founders sitting on their apartment floor, you've wondered if it's time to give up. But you didn't. You kept going, even with doubt, even with fear, even when it felt like nothing would ever change. That means your heart is still alive. That means your dream is not dead. That means there is still a road ahead. A road that might not be easy, a road that might be long, but a road that leads somewhere real, somewhere beautiful. And when you get there, when the light finally breaks through the clouds, you'll remember these hard days. You'll look back and say, "That was the moment I became stronger. That was the moment I chose to believe again." And just like the Airbnb story, your pain will not be wasted. Your tears will not be forgotten. Your waiting will not be for nothing. Every no will make the yes feel even sweeter. Every rejection will give your success deeper roots. And when you rise, you will not rise like someone who got lucky. You will rise like someone who earned every step. So take this time now to feel your heart, to feel the truth that's been hiding under all the fear. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are building. You are learning. You are growing. And that is enough. Let yourself feel proud, even if you're still in the middle, even if the success hasn't come yet. Because your courage, your trying, your heart, that is what matters most. The world will catch up. The results will come. But your spirit, your decision to keep going, that is already something incredible. This is your reflection, your reminder, your truth. You are still here, and that means your story is still being written. Before we end this time together, I want you to know something very simple, but very true. You are not alone. I don't care what the world has told you. I don't care how many times you've been pushed away or ignored. I don't care if you feel invisible, lost, or forgotten. Right here, in this quiet space between us, I want you to feel seen. I want you to feel understood. You don't have to prove anything to be worthy. You don't have to win first to matter. Your effort, your heart, your story, it all matters now, not later. It matters today. We've talked about Airbnb, but this story has never just been about them. It's always been about you, about your pain, about your strength, about your dream that still lives inside you, even if it's small, even if it's tired. You've walked through your own rejections, your own quiet battles. You've had to carry hope when no one gave it to you. And still, somehow, you kept walking. That makes you a warrior of the heart. That makes you someone with more courage than most people will ever understand. I don't know what your dream is. Maybe it's to start a business. Maybe it's to speak better English. Maybe it's to make art, or write, or heal. Maybe it's to live with peace. Whatever it is, I believe in it. I believe in you. Because dreams are fragile. They need protection. And if you are still holding on to yours, after everything, that tells me you're stronger than you know. So what now? You've heard the story. You've felt the pain. You've seen the fire. What now? Now, you try again. That's it. You don't need to fix everything tonight. You don't need to be perfect tomorrow. You just need to take one more step. One more small act of courage. One more try. That's how stories change. That's how people rise. That's how dreams come to life. Not all at once, but slowly, with love, with patience, with belief. If Brian, Joe, and Nathan had stopped after the 10th no, there would be no Airbnb. If they had quit after 50 rejections, the world would never have seen their dream. But they didn't stop. And neither should you. One more try, one more time, one more day of believing that something good can still happen. That's what I hope you carry with you now. Not pressure, not fear, but quiet belief. Let this be your moment. The moment you choose to trust yourself again. The moment you decide that even if the road is hard, you are worth the fight. Because you are. You always have been. Even in the silence, even in the failure, even in the waiting. So take a breath. Close your eyes. Feel your heart. And say this with me, softly, but with power. I'm not done. I'm just beginning. Let that live in you. Let that guide you. And when the world tries to tell you it's too late, too hard, too far, smile. Because you know the truth now. You know that rejection is not the end. You know that one more try can change everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not giving up. Your story is not over, and I can't wait to see what you do next. You are strong. You are seen. You are never alone. And this is just the beginning.